All right, folks, here's the deal. Today, I'm going to show you how to make YouTube thumbnails. So you can see here this image on the left. This was an original photo. I'm going to teach you how to make these on the right. Nobody asked me to do this video, but when I was trying to figure out how to make thumbnails, I was looking all over YouTube for videos on how to do this, and I couldn't find jack shit. So let's go. So first thing, I edit all my shit in CapCut, even though they're a security hazard, massive security hazard. They have access to all your shit. Anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to hit export on your video. Then you're going to go to edit cover. Okay, you're going to want to select an image from the video for your thumbnail, whatever it is you want to do. In this case, I picked right here, and there's like this weird little glitch, but basically when you open CapCut fresh and you have this, you can kind of drag this little slider to wherever you want in the video, and then when you hit export, it's going to give you like the edit cover, and you're going to have that image where you're stopped for the thumbnail. So in this case, it didn't work, so you'd have to like reopen the app fresh and see if it works again for you. But yeah, I don't know why it doesn't work all the time. It's really annoying. But anyways, you're going to export the video, and when you export that, it's going to ask you to put this into a folder. So right here, we already have the folder. I have all my shit organized. It's in episode 5 of Silk Song. So we open up episode 5, and here you go. I have the cover right here. This is the image that we're going to edit today, and then you have the full-blown episode edited, ready to go. Okay, so now that we have the image in question, we have these two tabs open. This is called Pixlr Express. This is a free app, and then we have Canva. I use Canva Pro. Okay, without Canva Pro, you're not going to be able to use the background removal tool, so you're going to want to have that. It's really cheap. It's only like 10 bucks a month, but this does an excellent job of editing thumbnails. So first thing I'm going to do in my episode 5 folder, I'm going to open up my episode 5 cover photo. Here it is. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my image of myself. So I kind of have an idea of what I want in said video. Now, to get images of yourself like this, the best way that I found to do it is to open up OBS and just record yourself with your webcam. Do all your little fucking poses or whatever it is that you need to do, Also, let me expand this. Also, when you're taking images like this, okay, for your webcam or whatever, like whatever the fuck it is that you're doing, make sure that the background is a good, like, solid color, okay? Let me show you this real quick. So over here, you see how if my door is open, it's, like, dark? So, like, if there's darkness in the background or whatever, and, like, you can see how, like, my robe outline is kind of the same color of my chair. If this was solid black and it wasn't, like, velvety or whatever, it might mistake the part of the chair here for my robe, and then it's gonna, like, cut out something weird in the background. You don't want that, so make sure that the background is, like, a solid color different from what you're wearing. I'm gonna close that, because that looks fucking terrible. Okay, so then you're gonna just sit there and you're gonna record your little like spiel or whatever. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to like screenshot something. So basically this is what I do. So I have a whole folder here of thumbnail images, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So let's see, I took some right here, right? Like I was doing this is so embarrassing. I was doing this, right? Just taking random like thumbnail things. So then you're gonna click on your keyboard, Window Shift S. When you find the moment that you want, you're gonna still shot it, and you're just gonna do a cutout image of it. So see how I'm well, it's not really recording that right now, but you're going to drag a little box around yourself, okay? And then it's going to pick out this right here. We're going to click this, and you can see here, this is our image, okay? This is what we're going to work with for like our little like person face shot for the thumbnail. Okay, it's very simple, straightforward. I taught myself all this, by the way. Okay, so now that we're in Canva, you can hit upload, and I guess I'll go use one of those images, I guess. All right, I got an image here. We're going to use this one. So let's open up this image right here. This is actually a good example because this is not going to crop out this little area right here. So now that we have the image pulled up, by the way, we're in Canva, and then you go to like edit photo or photo editor or whatever. Now you're simply going to hit background remover. This is going to remove the entire background for you. Look at that. But you probably notice right up here, there's a little spot that did not get removed. So this is what I mean by like if the background is too dark, it's not going to remove everything. So you're going to have to go in here with the eraser tool if that's bothering you. Okay, here we go. Sorry. So we're in background now. Now you're going to go to background remover. You can turn the brush size down, and now we're on erase right here. So now we can just erase this little section in here. Kind of takes a steady hand. I promise you, like if you could do this effectively, it's not going to look too bad. This is going to look fine. It really wasn't even that big of a deal. It looks kind of wacky right here, but it's cool. It's not a big deal. Okay, so background is now removed. So now we can do this. You go back to all right here with all your little selections. Now we go to shadows right here. In shadows, you could choose a glow. So check this out. You could turn on like a glow. This is really good for like the title, like the image title for the video. Me personally, I kind of copy Jev. Okay, so like Jev, if you guys know Jev, I'll put a screenshot of like one of his thumbnails up on the screen. His thumbnails are kind of what inspired me to do thumbnails this way. So he likes to use an outline or his edit. He's his own editor, so I'm pretty sure this is how he does it. He does an outline and he does it in white. It just helps it stick out more. So now what we're gonna do is we can save this image. By the way, just so everything's in here, I chose a size of 8 in terms of width on here, and I turned the intensity all the way up so it wasn't see-through at all. Now what we can do is we can hit download. I'm at my Silksong folders here. Now what I like to do is I like to just hit download, and then I click download right here. I'll make them nice and small so I can just drag it over, and now I have this image in here with the cover photo that I'm gonna use for my thumbnail. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're actually done with Canva for the moment. So now we've got our picture right here. Now we can come in here, we can bring in our image. So there's the image right there in episode 5. We can pull this up and boom, now we can put ourselves right here in the corner of the screen. Okay, so now we have our face image, we have our background image. Now all we need is to put the logo on the screen. So once again, we're in Canva, we hit create in the upper left-hand corner there, and then we hit upload. And for this one, you can just go pick out whatever logo it is that you want for the game you're playing, and you can go get that from Google, and usually you can just find a PNG with a transparent background. So for example, we've got this Hollow Knight Silksong logo here. I already had a transparent background, so we don't have to remove the background at all. Then you can go to shadows, and for me, I like to use glow for this. So we've got glow here. I'm gonna turn the intensity all the way up like this. Now it's kind of hard to see this when you have white in the background, so you might want to change this to a different color to kind of see the intensity here. And you could drag the size so it'll fill this in even more. You have the blur amount, so like let's say the size is bigger and you want to take out the blur, it's gonna get more crispy around the edges. But the more you blur it, in my opinion, the better it's gonna look. So we're going to turn the size down to about here. I don't know, this is just a ballpark. We could say the blur amount's there, and then you could change the intensity as well so it's a little bit brighter or less bright. Me personally, I like to go bright. So this is going to be up to you, by the way. So we're going to discard this because I don't want to use that. We've already got our image here. We're going to do exactly what we did before. You hit download, and then you can drag this to a folder. Me personally, though, inside my Silksong playthrough folder, I have my episode folder and I have my logos folder. This is where I put all my logos that I'm going to be using in pretty much all the thumbnails. So you can see here, I have a white logo here that needs editing, and then I've got black logos right here, and then I've got this one, which is black with the you know, like the fade around it. So I've already got that one, and basically all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into that folder. We go into our logos. We have that image right there. We're going to open it up, and boom, here it is. Very, very simple. I noticed that Jev likes to give it a little tilt. It just adds a little bit more character to the actual thumbnail. Look, I know this is going to sound like I'm copying pretty much everything that he does. Guys, this is what you have to do if you want to have good thumbnails. You got to study what works. So, I mean, Jev has a specific kind of content. He does like long form gaming content. People know Jev for Jev. So he made his brand off of himself, right? Everybody watches him for him. They don't necessarily watch him because he's good at games or whatever. So whatever your thing is, you got to like shape your thumbnail around it. I do content like him. I'm not good at games, okay? I hope people will one day watch me because they like me, because they like the way that I talk or what I talk about or whatever my perspective. But yeah, this is how I shape my thumbnails are around his, because I like his thumbnails. So this is what we've got here. Also, I should mention the background image here. When you're in CapCut and you're editing that image, that's, I found, the easiest way to like scale the image up to zoom in wherever it is that you want, like the center of the photo. So right here, I zoomed in on the two characters here, and then I exported from CapCut. So that's something to note. If you want the image to be zoomed in, you have to do it in CapCut. You don't have to do it in CapCut. It just makes it a little bit easier on you if you do it in CapCut. Because when you come in here, then like if you want to change the image size, you have to go to crop or cutout or whatever. You have to go to like, yeah, you go to crop here, and then you have to like change the dimensions of the image, and it can get all wonky and weird. So just keep that in mind. Just, I would do it in CapCut personally. So anyways, we've got our 3 images here. So now what I like to do is I go into adjust, and I start to adjust this with the color correction. So as you can see here, if you turn up vibrance, it's going to get a little bit brighter. If you turn up saturation, it's really going to exaggerate those red colors. So me personally, I'm most definitely going to turn up the saturation because it makes the background look a lot brighter. Then you also have overall brightness, which is another one that I like to tweak pretty often. Exposure, sometimes it makes sense to up the exposure. In my opinion, on this one, it's probably going to make sense to turn it down a little bit. But one of the earlier things I like to do too is adjust contrast. Contrast is really going to, you know what? I would actually start with contrast because contrast is what's going to really make the thumbnail pop. So I would start with that, kind of like adjust that to wherever it is it looks good. Right here, we're going too far, at least in my opinion. Some people might like thumbnails like that, so they can do that for themselves. But me personally, I think I'm going to stop right at about 20 here. So that looks pretty good to me. We could turn the saturation up just a smidge if we want to brighten this up. I don't really think vibrance is going to do much for us, so I'm going to leave vibrance down. Exposure, no, that's only making it lighter. And if we turn that down, it's going to make it darker, so no. Sorry, that was brightness. Now we're on exposure. We could turn the exposure down just a little bit to add to the contrast, but I think it's actually good where it is. Highlights is really going to wake up like you see the whites there that are really, really bright if we turn this all the way up. This is going to make it a little bit more possible to see the visuals if you turn that down. So we might even turn this down a little bit just to get that visual on lace there a little bit better. And then shadows. I really like shadows on a lot of my thumbnails. It does help with like the contrast of the overall like the picture. So I'll turn that one down a little bit too. This is looking pretty good in my opinion. Now, I do like to sharpen it just a little bit sometimes because it can get kind of blurry when you zoom in the image. So I'm going to turn that up just a tad bit. Doesn't need to be much. These are like, you know, the whole point of Hollow Knight is it's got a real smooth kind of texture to it. So it doesn't need to be all realistic or anything. You can also zoom this out to see what this is going to look like on your YouTube page. So that's very helpful. So yeah, this looks pretty good from a distance, but we still want to make it edit it and make it look really nice for if somebody sees this blown up. And then right here, I actually like to add a little bit of like shadow from the corners. This is just something I noticed recently. I started doing it on my more recent thumbnails. I like this, so I'll add a little bit of darkness from the corners. It just gives it a little bit more depth. Okay, so that part is done, so you're going to click apply in the bottom left, and now the background is done. Now we got to edit ourselves. So we're going to go through the same process here. I'm going to zoom in so this makes it a little bit easier to see. Usually you don't have to up the vibrance or the saturation just because of lighting purposes. Usually, like, especially if you're a white guy like me, it's going to be, you're going to look a lot more pink. You don't want to turn the saturation up. But I do like to turn the brightness down a little bit and usually the exposure down a little bit. And then I will turn the contrast up a little bit. I don't know, it just adds a nice little touch, kind of helps like differentiate between clothing. I don't know, I like it, especially if you have facial hair. It really helps like outline those areas. Highlights, we don't need to mess with that at all. And then shadows, I like to turn the shadows up a little bit. By the way, when you go negative, it's going to add more shadow. So that's personally what I like to do. So we'll go about there. And then this is a big one for your face images. You want to turn the sharpness up. So like, see, if we turn the sharpness up, it really helps identify like little details on our face and stuff. I won't turn this all the way up, but I'll usually give it to about 70. That's usually a good spot for me. After you do that, you can come back in here, add a little bit more color. I guess I'll add a little bit to vibrance just because we were looking a little bit dark right there. Okay, I've got that tweaked, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the Vignette. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. That's the same thing that we use to darken up the corners of the actual thumbnail image. I'm going to add a little bit of that to us as well, just to kind of help us like blend into the corner of the screen. All right, we're going to click apply. Now we are done there. And then sometimes if you want, you can go into this image right here and you can edit this one. Really, this is not going to adjust very much other than like, you know, if you want to up brightness or whatever. So you can see when you up brightness or turn it down, it'll take out the white in the image. Exposure, it's going to do that a little bit as well. It's going to, I don't know, like you can mess with these to see how you like it, but usually the image straight from wherever you were editing it is going to be good enough. So I actually like the way that it looks right here. I think that this looks good. We can probably tweak the location a little bit, maybe make it just a tad bit smaller. So there you go. This is looking like a finished thumbnail image. You might think it looks bad. I don't know. You might think it looks really good. I don't know. You know, this is just how I make my thumbnails. I think they look pretty good, me personally. They don't pop nearly as much if you have a background image with less color. So you kind of want to find like an action moment or something, maybe something related to your title to throw into the thumbnail image. But this is it right here. This is going to be a 1920 by 1080. We're going to hit save. You can crank this up. What I did notice is you can only have 2 megabyte max for a thumbnail image on YouTube. So look at the image size right here. If it's over 2, literally turn this down 1% and it will drop it a drastic amount, usually under the 2. So I have mine at 100, we're at 1.8, which means we're good. You get to save 3 of these a day, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and save this inside of our episode 5 folder. I'm going to name this cover final just to make sure it's different. So we're going to save that in there. Now it's saved. You can see here, 1 of 3 daily saves. So you can do this 3 times a day. So if you're making 3 videos a day, guess what? You have 3 thumbnails for the entire day. And then obviously you could pay to expand on this. Now you can close this out. We can close out Canva. And now you're pretty much ready to upload to YouTube. So we can open these up right here. And now you can see the clear difference between these 2 images. I mean, look at the difference here. This is looking way brighter than the old one. It's just visually far more appealing. We've added the logo so people know exactly what it is that they're about to watch. You've got you with like whatever reaction you're giving to the video. So I already know what the title of this video is going to be. You can go watch it if you want. And yeah, this is how I make my thumbnail images. I don't know why I couldn't find any videos on this online, but there you go. This is exactly how I do it. So hopefully this was helpful to some people who are out there trying to like get into content creation or whatever, trying to, you know, upgrade their content quality. And thank you for watching. And yeah, I will see you guys all in the next video. All right. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave them in the comments. I will help you out. Maybe I'll make videos replying to those comments to help you out. But this is how we do it. So yeah, see you later.